What if what you want has already happened? This is a totally new concept, and I have come across that about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 months ago, and I am so thrilled and excited about it because it actually turns my whole life around in a very positive way. So that's why I am want to tell you about this because maybe this is also something that you are really attracting to. Because you also have heard the saying before, I know for a reason that you have, like, what if you couldn't fail? And what if you could, you have already succeeded? But what I am talking about is actually a little bit different. About 7 months ago, I came across a book about a process, and it's called the remembering process. And I think it is the most amazing new thought. And maybe it has been for a long time already there, but for me it was totally new. And what it says is, it says what you can it says it's a little bit different than the law of attraction, because the law of attraction says it is not here yet. And we have to create it with our minds, right? And with our imagination. But what the remembering process says, it says it has already happened. And we go to a place in our mind far behind the event, what we really like to have, be, experience, etc. And we look back from the future self and look back and tell ourselves how we accomplished it, right? So it's a little bit different, but it's a huge difference, and it makes all the difference for the ego. Because if you are in a place right now that you have the feeling, I lack money, I lack time, I lack freedom, then, and you want to create something, then your starting point is starting from lack, right? Because you don't have it right now. And what the remembering process says, it says it is harder to create than to remember. And the writers of this book and the whole process, they say if you remember it, it's you kind of you kind of put yourself in another time frame from the future self, and you are telling yourself it already happens, because I have, when I can remember it, it has already happened. So the ego that most people have, the ego says mostly, you cannot do it, you don't deserve it, you cannot accomplish that, you will not succeed, it's too hard, it's too difficult, and all the stuff. But if you assume that things are have already happened, the ego cannot interfere with that, right? And that is of course a huge difference if you want to have a different reality. So if you assume that what you want has already happened, then immediately you can feel like a shift in your mind, that things will go easier for you and more effortless, because you have pinned yourself, pinned by quotation, of course, you have directed yourself to it has already happened. That's why I can remember it. Do you understand what I mean? It is actually the total opposite of what we have been taught our whole life. Because we have been told, and I think you relate to that, you cannot do that, you are too old, you are too sensitive, you are too much, you are to this, to that, to this, to that. And then it becomes very hard in our thinking, in our mind, it becomes very hard to create something else than the current situation, right? So that is coming from lack. And that is why actually I read the book, The Secret. I saw the movie about, I don't know, maybe 50 times or something. And back at that time, it really was feeling good. But when I stumbled upon this, I thought, this is my truth. And what I really like about this is that Einstein, says, I have written it down. Einstein says imagination is more important than knowledge. And at first I thought, okay, imagination, what does he really talk about? And what it actually says that if we tell ourselves, I am not good enough, or I don't deserve it, or it is too hard, too difficult, life is too hard, etc., etc. Actually, we have a lot of pictures around that because we, you can experience that on a daily basis that you think your life is too hard or you are too sensitive or whatever, right? So it is actually that kind of imagination that can bring in certain experiences in your life. So that's why this I remember process is far more stronger than the imagination. I cannot do it, it's too hard, I will never succeed, I will always stumble and struggle and feeling stuck and blah blah blah, because when you say that to yourself, you have a picture around it, you experience it. But if you remember that what you want has already happened, it is, um, the, it shifts everything. Can you feel that right now? It shifts everything. You cannot, you just cannot think anymore that everything is hard because it already happened what you want. Yeah, are you with me? Okay, so now the question is, what is something that you really want to have, achieve, to be, to do, to have in your life? What is it that you really want? Most people actually don't have a clue what they really want. And I also, for a very long time in my life, I had no clue what I really wanted. And when I said that I wanted something, it actually was something that I thought that, my mom and dad would like me to want it for myself, right? So, it's especially when you are sensitive, then you have this kind of antenna. Is that the word? Antenna? An antenna that what you feel around you in the fields of of people around you, you start to say that, you start to say for yourself, that is what I want, but maybe it's totally not from you. Maybe you are um, repeating someone else's dream, right? So it's very important to know what you want. Not your mom, not your dad, not your best friends, whatever, not your family, but what you want. So do you know what you want? And then if that's very clear for you, just write yourself a remembering letter. And remembering letter is, you see yourself far, just in the future time, when it already has happened, yes, and you go behind that, really behind it, about maybe 1 year or 2 years that it already happens. And from that place, you look back and you write to your current self right now, yourself, who the one who is watching this video right now. You write a remembering letter and you say, I remember that back then, in this case, April 16, 2025, I did this and this and this and this. And what I wanted had already happened, and that happened on the date, specific time, and really be very specific about it. So, what did you wear? What season was it? What time? Was you alone, or were people around you? What did you think? How did you wake up in the morning? What happened that day? Did you do some groceries, or went you out? Did you go out for dinner or lunch or whatever? With whom? So be very specific and just read it afterwards. Read it, and every day read it. And not only every day read it, but also write yourself every day a remembering letter. and start always the sentence with I remember blank, I remember blank, I remember blank, etc. Because that is very powerful. Then you really start to feel inside of you that it indeed has already happened what you want, right? So I leave you with that. That is actually what I really wanted to share with you. And if you are writing to yourself, I would love to have, more money, more time, more freedom, and write for yourself a remembering letter. How did it look like when you already had that? What happens that you already had a thriving, you have had a thriving online business with everything totally positive and brightness and laughter and love and success, and how much money did you make, not what you want to make, how much money did you make, how many people did you help, in what time frame, per year, per month, per week, per day, how many people did you help? Because the only thing to make money is to help people solve their problems, right? And that is what we do. We, as if you are an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, the way to make money is the more problems we can solve, the more money we earn, right? That is simple as that. So if you see yourself as I have had a huge success. I am very, very, or not I am, I was very successful at that specific time in my life because of this business I had. Then maybe, just maybe you also would like to see, if you have that kind of wish, memory, remembering thing, maybe it is good for you to look at a pre-built, fully automated online business. Because if you want to have an online business and helping thousands of people worldwide, then I got something for you. Maybe not, but maybe, right? Because I am in a pre-built, fully automated online business. And what you learn here is how to attract daily pay customers, and how to automate your business, and how to build your email list, and how to uh, make how to earn money every day, and how to attract 900 paying daily customers. And maybe not per day, but maybe per week, right? But if you can, if you can learn how to earn a $900 a day, that is $328,000 per year. So would that ease your mind? Would that make life more ease and flow and peace and giving you peace of mind? So if that is the truth, then please click the link in the video description and just find out for yourself if this is something that you want to remember, that this business, this particular business, has given you everything what you always have wanted in your life, right? So I leave you with that. I hope you have I hope this is really helpful for you, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next live. Ciao, ciao.